In our first story, some commuters are worried about a 15% increase in transport fares, describing it as harsh. Transport unions earlier this month warned to increase transport fares if fuel prices remain the same. We'll hear from the transport unions in a bit, but first, I have been interacting with some commuters I met at the Obra Sports Yard here in Accra. Increase of fuel prices and the economic hardships that the country is facing are some of the reasons that the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council has given for the 15% increase in transport fares. I am here at the Obra, Trotro and Taxi rank, where I'm going to talk to some passengers who will be greatly affected by this.
Realize the case, how things have increased, it affects we a lot because we transfer our goods and materials. Maybe right now we are coming from the north. So we just came, realized the case, we just realized that things increase all of a sudden. So the budgets we made, everything has increased totally. And even we are stranded now. Now we are stranded, we don't know how things will go. You can see our load here.
And realize the case, we just came, the fare now is 9 cedis. But we used to board car from here, 6 cedis, 50 pesos. So everything just changed. So we need to also just work it out so that things will calm down. Things will calm down.
How often do you do this trip, going to the north? How often?
And that's our work. We are into Tarazo. Okay. So this traveling and traveling and traveling. So it affects us a lot. When this fare is up, it affects us.
I'm from Alajo. I take car from Alajo, coming to Circle, going to police depot, police headquarters. You see, it's too high. It's too high for me. Because look at my children, because I want to pay and then pay myself. Yeah, so it's too high. Oh, the government is supposed to, you see, because the driver, they are complaining about the fuel. Because the fuel is too high. So you should look at the thing and the thing come down so that we too, we are okay. Because it's not easy. It's not easy. Everything, because food and everything go high. So it's not easy. Look at the way I'm sweating.
Now the price is high, and going to places now won't be easier. Yes. So it's not really helping. Yeah.
Send the drivers now drivers GPRT, but me think it's a 50%. Say it's good if it's good for the drivers, fine. If it's not good for them, because send the money my end there, baby I eating.
Yeah.
It's
But what about you for the passenger, as a passenger?
As a passenger, we have to consider the drivers. Okay. Because almost say petrol they be almost chosu. Instead they be almost not almost chosu, not so much 50%. I think it's cool with me.
Yeah.
There is an increment in the fuel, so definitely drivers are also going to. Otherwise, they will incur us because vehicle owners are also waiting for their ends meet at the end of the day. So definitely they also have to increase the fares. And for me, I think it's normal because you have no choice. Yes. When you wake up in the morning, you have to go to your work and you have no choice to walk to your workplace. And my workplace is far. I work at Embassy Hotel. I cannot walk from Circle to Embassy Hotel. So definitely I have to. Yes, I have to bear with the cost. So is there anything you'd like to say to the government? Oh, for me, what I would say about this government, a lot. But me, the little thing is, they fail us. Totally, they fail us. Because looking at all the promises, reduction in fuel prices as they use in their campaign, nothing has happened. Always there's fuel increase. Although I don't own a vehicle, but whenever you pass by a fuel station, you always see some pesos every day increment. So
I've also been speaking to some drivers, and this is what they had to say.
Me driver no dey. Enya ma yen so ya be fa ni sa. O kan wan ka wo ka se wan ka se o. The government no be ya no be. Nti eyi we nyi o ya be fa ni sa. Nti ya nemu.
So the passengers now, are they complaining because it started on Saturday? So the passengers, what are they saying?
Passengers in the trot from on kasa bataze for no bi an kasa o. So
I don't have a problem with that, but some of the drivers, they increase the price too much. Because we know that as a driver, they give us 15%. But some people, when you join the trotro, yesterday like this, I'm traveling to Medina. From Osu to Medina, they take 6 cedi. 6 cedi, yeah. So I don't know whether...
Before then, how much was it?
I think that 4 cedi, 80 pesos. Okay. So I don't know the 15%, the calculation. Yeah. Because here our station, we are paying 4 cedi, 60 pesos. Yeah. I don't know that the price, there's nothing we can do, because as for we belong to union. Yeah. So whatever the union can give, we don't have anything to say about it, yeah. So that side, I don't have a problem about my side. But sometimes they have to look inside for the passengers too. Because as for them, no pay. They too, they haven't increased their salary. Yeah. So now if you have 2 children that they are going to school, this money you have to give them you have to increase their transportation. So that one, they have to do something about it for the workers. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it started on Saturday. Today is Monday. What have the passengers been saying throughout the weekend?
As for here, the taxi, here the passenger, when they came, then they seized the damn board. They are not complaining. Okay. They are not complaining much. Because I think that they give the information early. Yeah, so since it's Saturday like this, as for we didn't take from only today that we are starting to take this thing. Yeah.
From the Obra Trotro taxi rank, I am Mapito Sibidi reporting for JoyNews. Madina. Let's hear from Deputy Secretary of the GPRT, Richard Amankwa, and General Manager of VIP Transport Services, Cabre from Pongmanso, who have been speaking with Benjamin Akakpo on the AM show.
So far, we have not received any adverse reaction to the increment. And you would agree that since June 5, almost 8 months ago, when we did the last adjustment, a lot of things have gone under the drain, and people noticed how generally the variables that we use in assessing our transportation requirements have gone so up. So far, we have not received any negative reaction to the adjustment.
Can you give us some of the price differentials when it comes to traveling from Accra to different places, what it looks like today? What are some of the differentials? If you can just use a few routes and give us the differences that we're seeing today.
Oh, basically, Accra, Kumasi on the executive pass, we are doing from 60 cities to 70 cities. 60
to 70.
The numbers are stable. We haven't seen any reaction. And we've done the furthest of the route, that is the Boku, from 165 up to 190.
Right.
And the Boku first bus will leave at 12 noon today. So far, we've done about more than a quarter of the bookings.
Okay. So that's a 25 CD increment there, 165 to 190. Right.
I said 165 to 190.
Right. Which is a 25 CD increment.
Yeah, basically 25 CD increment.
Right.
And we started the Boku route with I would say, an introductory price. So now we are coming to the realistic price on the ground. So at the time it was 165, we were more or less just about doing the introductory price. But for now, we've gotten to 190. And I'm saying that as yet, we have just a little over half booking for the 34-seater. And it remains to be seen by noon how it goes. So that is about the assessment on the furthest route on our table.
So our reaction is that we GPRT, we are a well-established institution or transport union. Moreover, those who are falling for 30%, we met as a coalition of transport operators, commercial transport operators.
Right.
You know, we have about 16 transport unions.
Right.
That came together to form that coalition. Aside that, we have GITCC. That is General Road Transport Coordinating Council. We two met. As well as we went to negotiation table with 30%. But after everything, we were able to reach 15%, that was the price agreed by the Transport Ministry.
Right.
So all along, all the stations are working with a 15% increase. So if any other transport union feels that the 15% is not what they are demanding for, then there's nothing we can say about that. But so far as GPRT is concerned, we are charging 15%. And as I said, all the regions and the stations are now operating with that 15%. Moreover, no one can...
But tell me, even before you go on, yes, you tabled 30% and you were granted 15%, half of what initially you felt was fair. Is the 15% enough? We've also heard some of you say that, look, if there are any increments at all, you'll add another 5% or so. So tell me very honestly, the 15% you were allowed to add on to your fares, was that enough?
The 15%, when you look at the communique which we issued, it was clearly stated that whenever the fuel price goes up to 10%, we are at liberty to increase our transport fare. So as at now, we are working with 15%. And as we said, so we were looking for 30%. But after considering the price and the situation in the country, we decided that we will go with the 15%. But we make it clear that whenever the petrol fares increase by 10%, we are going to add the same 10% to the current fare. So that was the agreement that we reached before we came out with that 15%.
Of the Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs, Dr. Rashid Rahman, wants the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbon, and First Deputy Speaker Joseph Osei-Owusu to resolve any differences between them and work in unity to aid smooth parliamentary business. Mr. Bagbon and Mr. Osei-Owusu have disagreed on a ruling on a motion for a probe into government's COVID-19 expenditure. Speaking on the AM show, Dr. Rahman called for a truce.
I don't want to go into, there's certainly politics playing out here, because let's just step back for a minute and ask the question. Assuming we didn't have a split parliament the way we do have it now, assuming we didn't have a speaker who was from a different party than the first deputy speaker, would we be seeing this public display of, differences between the number one person and the number two person in Parliament?
Right.
I don't think so. I think if it was the seventh Parliament where the Right Honourable Michael was Speaker and same Right Honourable Joseph Osei-Owusu was Deputy Speaker, I'm sure they had their own share of disagreement. I don't think that everything that the Right Honourable Speaker did then, was fully or 100% supported by the first Deputy Speaker. But I believe they found a way of dealing with their differences, in a democratic way and in a way that doesn't give any impression that the office of the Right Honourable Speaker, which is himself and his two deputies, an impression that office is under any stress or that they couldn't work together. So in every human institution, let's be real, let's be frank with ourselves.
Right.
Conflicts occur. But I think for me, the way those conflicts are dealt with, I think is what gives them a clear sign that in a democracy, I think we have a way of dealing with our differences, without those differences coming out into the full public glare where people who are watching will say, it looks like there are no rules and there are no mechanisms for dealing with these differences.
Right.
So that is the point from which I am coming. And I think whatever is happening, I don't want to say who is right here and who is wrong, because it's subject to all kinds of interpretation. The most important thing is that I think the Right Honorable Speaker and his deputies must find a way to talk and to continue to talk. Because, this is the second time this has happened.
Right.
And I think on all occasions, the Right Honorable Speaker has said, I'm not going to overturn what my deputy has done.
Right.
So can you imagine if we have this, ping pong, this one turns it, this one turns it upside down, this one turns it, this one turns it upside down. We would have been having now, a situation in Parliament that would have been worse than what we currently do have.
So are you conceding that there is some power play, especially because they come from different parties with different traditions? There is some power play between the Speaker and the First Deputy Speaker. Is that what you're suggesting?
Well, somebody, watching closely, without having all the details and looking at where each of them is coming from, cannot but, maybe arrive at that conclusion. That it might be an erroneous conclusion. But what I was saying earlier was that I don't think that Honorable Joe Wise, our First Deputy Speaker, and Right Honorable Michael Quaid, Speaker in the Federal Parliament, didn't have disagreements. But we didn't see those disagreements play out in the public domain as we do see the disagreements between the two honorable gentlemen currently in the 8th Parliament.
Right.
So there could be some issues of power play here.
Dr. Joman has also been commenting on the Member of Parliament for Dome Kwabenya Ajo Safo's absence from Parliament and its impact on the business of the House.
Now, what I would like to see done is perhaps let's go back to our standing orders and let's make sure that these matters are taken very seriously, so that one day we don't find ourselves in a situation like we do now.
Right.
When somebody is, whose case, because of the political nature of it and because of the times that we live in, the case is brought to the full glare of the public and so on. And then, we start hearing somebody did this in the past and that did happen and so on. They have rules about how to deal with these things. And in many parliaments around the world, that is where they are different from our parliament. When these things happen, I think the processes and procedures and the rules kick in immediately, so that it sends a very clear signal that this cannot be tolerated in a house like this.
Should Adjoa Safo be removed? Should Adjoa Safo be removed?
Well, I think that if indeed she has absented herself, 15 times consecutively without, and I think that that's where the emphasis is, without the permission of the Right Honorable Speaker and without reasonable explanation. That's what the rule says. I'm not the one who is going to be saying this. The rule is clear. But whether Parliament will apply the rule now or, as it didn't do in the past, that is where the conundrum is.
Okay.
And I think, that is where they have to be careful and make sure that, the rules are applied in a way that is very, very fair.
Okay.
And at all times, whoever is found foul of the rules, no matter the person's standing, let the rules take its course, so that, in a situation like this, you don't have any difficulty. It's clear.
Okay. All right.
Let's delve into the Russia-Ukraine crisis now. And Foreign Affairs Minister Shelia Yokoboche says government has successfully evacuated 460 Ghanaian students from Ukraine to safer zones. Ukraine has been under siege since Russia launched an attack on the country a few weeks ago. Thousands of people have been displaced and seeking refuge in neighboring countries. They have been called by members of parliament and civil society organizations to government to evacuate Ghanaians there. Addressing the media on Sunday, the Foreign Affairs Minister said the students are reportedly safe.
As at midday, today, 27th of February, information gathered was that about over 460 students have left Ukraine en route to Poland, Hungary, Romania, Slovakia, and Czech Republic. The students will be received by officials of our diplomatic missions, honorary consuls, and officials of the students' union or associations. We are pleased to provide the breakdown of those who have exited Ukraine as follows. 132 have arrived in Bucharest, Romania, and our officer on the ground is preparing tickets for some of them to leave tomorrow to Accra. Reason why I say some of them is because the distance between the holding area and the city itself is, I'm told, over 500 kilometers. Am I correct? And so some of them are on their way to the city. At the moment, he has with him 24 of them who are at the airport, and he's trying to get them on Qatar Airways to Accra. Some are being processed at the holding area, and I'm told about 60 of them are going through border formalities. So they're on the other side of the Ukraine border, going through border formalities to get into Romania. 38, having crossed into Poland, are with our officials. We are currently also making arrangements for those who are willing to be assisted to get on flights. 25 persons en route to Prague from Slovakia were assisted by the honorary consul and will be received on entry by the mission in Prague. 25 just this morning arrived in Hungary and are being sheltered at the Pentecostal Church in Budapest.
Shirley Ayokobwache also disclosed government has opened talks with Russia and Turkey to facilitate incident-free evacuation for Ghanaian nationals in cities under attack.
Officials of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration have held productive meetings with diplomats of the Russian and Turkish embassies in Accra to discuss the pathway to an incident-free evacuation exercise. Just this morning, I spoke to an official of the Ukrainian embassy in Abuja. They have concurrent accreditation to Ghana. And I told them about the difficulties some of our compatriots, especially the male students, are facing in their attempt to cross into neighboring countries. Both meetings resulted in an agreement to facilitate passage of our compatriots should the need arise. Other meetings were held with officials of the Scholarship Secretariat and a Ghanaian security institution, all in a bid to promote multi-stakeholder engagement towards a successful evacuation of our people.
Let's do other stories now. The Greater Accra Regional Hospital says it is enforcing new measures to flush out blood contractors involved in illegal blood sales. A JoyNews and Corruption Watch expose revealed how a syndicate operating at the National Blood Service at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital and Greater Accra Regional Hospital sells blood to desperate patients. Speaking on the sidelines of a blood donation drive in Accra, the medical director of the hospital, Dr. Emmanuel Sofrenyo, said they are taking measures to avoid administering blood that has not been screened from unknown facilities.
When something is scarce, people try to take advantage of the fact that it is scarce. Sometimes when we ask relatives to bring family members to come and donate blood, then they go to town and look for people who are now going into this as a business. So they go to town and look for people, and the people say that, okay, I can get you 1 pint of blood, bring this money. Then wherever they go to get the blood, we don't know. And however safe it is, we don't even know. And that is why we have cut out all those people who are into that. When you don't get the blood from a recognized hospital, like from our own blood bank or from other sister institutions, then we wouldn't even give it to you, because we cannot guarantee its safety. That's the precaution we are putting in place.
Bono East Regional Minister Kwesi Adujan is asking officers of the Ghana Immigration Services to switch to the use of ICT and intelligence gathering to enable them outwit the various sophisticated methods being used by suspected criminal syndicates. Mr. Jan made this call at Amankwa to commission a new office space for immigration officers in the Kintampo North Municipality. Correspondent Anas Sabit has more.
The new office space of the Ghana Immigration Service is to, amongst other things, contribute towards the provision of a safe and peaceful environment for the people of the region as a whole. Speaking at a mini deba in Kintampo to commission the office, Bono East Regional Minister Kwesi Adujan charged the Immigration Service to switch to the use of ICT solutions by taking advantage of the current digital platforms as a means of outwitting sophisticated methods being adopted by suspected criminal syndicates.
We all do understand the security threat that we face from our northern borders, eastern borders, western borders, as well as our coastline. For less to match up with the sophistication around us now, the best thing to do is to go technical, to look for ICT solutions that will enable us not only gather data or assess data or analyze data, but also assist us to look at a distance using artificial intelligence methods, or using sensors, or using whatever means necessary to capture what is happening in our bodies.
He however appealed to the Interior Ministry to equip the institution with the needed tools to aid them execute their work effectively.
Having gone through, I think they need a lot of logistics and equipments. So I'll urge both the controller and the Minister of Interior to equip them, with the state-of-the-art facilities. Computers, they don't even have many computers. I will appeal to them that let's equip them well so that they will be able to live up to the tasks that we have entrusted into their hands.
Regional Immigrations Commander ACI Enoch Abrokwa Ano was full of gratitude to policymakers for the facility and noted that the unit would help strengthen security in the area.
Kintampo being the transition belt, it is good we consolidate ourselves here to prevent the illegal immigrants from entering Sunyani, Kumasi, and other areas of Ghana. So it is a good omen, and I have to commend the President, the Interior Minister, and the Controller General for this good work.
He however cautioned the people to be wary of new visitors as a means of helping combat possible terrorist threats in the country.
The people here will have to collaborate, because if you look at the Islamic militants and then you look at the people of Kintampo, I think they have similarities in their culture. So it is easy for somebody to come and hide in here on the guise that I am a Muslim. But meanwhile, deep down, he has a mission to accomplish. So we need to open our eyes well and ensure that those we are accommodating don't harbor any bad feelings about Ghana.
Municipal Chief Executive for Kintampo Isaac Bafo commended the immigration officers for their services and assured of the Assembly's total support to the command. Reporting for JoyNews, Anas Sabit, Kintampo.
Still in the Bono East region, residents of Kunsu, a predominantly farming community in the Kintampo North Municipality, want government to help construct the road network linking the community to its district capital. The deplorable nature of the road network, according to the people, is adversely affecting economic activities in the area. Anas Sabit again.
Kunsu is a predominantly farming community in the Kintampo North Municipality of the Bono East region. The deplorable nature of the road network linking this community to its district capital is heavily affecting all phases of life, including healthcare delivery and general economic activities. Rose Jamra is the Kunsu East Assemblywoman. She She says the deplorable nature of the road network remains the community's major challenge.
Our first challenge is the road. The road from Kintampo to Kunsu is very, very bad. When emergency come to the facility, the hospital, the clinic at Kunsu, when they have emergency, let's say in the night, a pregnant woman will come for delivery, and if they can't assess the problem, they have to take the person or transfer the woman to Kintampo. But due to the problem on the road, it will be difficult for them to move the person to Kintampo to sustain her life. So this is the problem we are facing.
Chief of the area, Nana Osahene Kweku Cranton II, bemoans how the terrible nature of the road is adversely affecting farming activities in the area.
It does have an effect, bad effect, because women cannot even carry their foodstuff to the main market. We have plenty of food here, because people here are farmers. This year, for instance, most of them have lost their cashew, fire burning, and all these things. But the government is eager, trying to come to our aid and help us in all spheres of life. I think we will not absorb it, but we are not getting that. Although I'm doing my part to sell it out, yet no response.
Newly installed Nkoswahima of the community, Dr. Selim Piesma, who visited the community to finish her residency in global health and tropical medicine, expressed gratitude to the people for the honor and noted that she would work with the people to help improve the Kunsu Health Center.
What I really wanted to do, to really have a small clinic that needs improvement, that needs someone to take care of them and improve the health system. When I did my residency back at home in the Netherlands, we've been taught to work together, to cooperate with chiefs, with local people to enhance the healthcare. And I will ensure the royal family, but also all the people of Kunsu and the surrounding, that I will do everything in my power to help them. Because I believe that healthcare is super important, and the best way forward is to help and improve that.
Osahene Kweku Cranton II appealed to the media to bring to light the difficulties the people go through in order to help get the road constructed.
We cannot do it. The government agencies who are responsible for various sectors, and the sector minister who is responsible for this, Minister of Road and all those, they don't mind. They don't mind. So I charge you now. I'm charging you now. You have the media. Push it.
Reporting for Joy News, Anas Sabit, Kunsu.
In the Upper West region, chairman of the Ghana Hotels Association, Abu Kansa Kabata, is worried about the increasing cost of operations in the industry as a result of high utility tariffs. He says hotels have been forced to increase room rates to account for the loss, which has also led to a reduction in patronage. He wants government to grant the industry a concession that will lessen their burden so they can reduce rates at the hotels.
Upper West Regional Chairman of the Ghana Hotels Association, Abu Kansa Kabata, underscored the importance of the hotel industry, noting that it is an integral part of the Ghanaian economy, which does not only generate foreign exchange, it increases various forms of government revenue, creating jobs and income, and thereby enhancing development. Abu Kansa, however, lamented that despite the services provided by the industry in the growth of the country's economy, it is facing some serious challenges, which they want the government to have a serious look at.
Many hotel managers spend huge amount of utilities, especially electricity bills, and with the recent hikes in fuel prices, generators are not an option. Hotels are therefore forced to increase room rate to account for the losses they may incur, but the increased rate only negatively affected them as patronage reduced greatly, because most guests do not want to stay in expensive hotels or rooms. This affects revenue, and the bigger picture is the head-on struggle we find ourselves as an industry. I want to therefore take opportunity to call on government to grant the industry some special concession that will lessen or reduce our expenditure on utility, thereby leading to reduction in room rate. I believe strongly that it will be a win-win situation, since it will go a long way to boost the government year of returns project.
The Upper West Regions Hotel Association chairman appealed to the government to ensure that members of the association benefit from the COVID-19 stimulus package.
I am aware many of our industry players in the Upper West region, and I believe cut across the whole country, are yet to benefit from the government COVID-19 stimulus package. We therefore appeal to government to, as a matter of urgency, leverage and extend the package to all those members of the association in the region and across the country who did not benefit the government stimulus package. This will support the industry to survive from the recent shock emanating from the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic.
National President of the Ghana Hotels Association, Dr. Edward Akanye Mitchell, stated that in order to lessen the burden on the shoulders of the government, they are initiating ways of their own in order to reduce their operational cost.
In our own effort, we are looking at, say, things to do with the use of even boreholes. We are also looking at collaboration with the other trade associations in terms of the tour operators, the tour guides, the car rentals, and all that. We want to put our heads together so that we can promote domestic tourism as much as possible. We are also looking at training our members in identifying cost-effective management areas so that we can reduce our costs.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam.
Because of what was being said by Adiwale, the start of they said if Akim Tunde.
Let's tell you about our latest Hotline documentary. She was allegedly blackmailed into believing the only way she could access drugs for her condition was by having sex with her caregiver. Mariama Isifu lost her memory from a ghastly motor accident and was later diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Her dependence on psychotropic medications drove her into the hands of a mental health service provider who will take advantage of her. Manol Kranting has the rest of the story.
2,000 members and executives.
As I leave the Upper West region, I head for its eastern counterpart, some 120 miles away. In a town called Bongo, I have come to meet another mental health patient, Mariama Isifu.
Schoolboy. He's a schoolboy.
She too a trained teacher. But unlike Ernest, whose condition might have arisen because of his use of narcotics, Mariama was involved in a motor accident which almost claimed her life. As doctors managed to save her, Mariama's brain suffered a major blow, making her lose her memory. And that was the beginning of her own troubles.
After the accident, I lost my memory. It took time before I started gaining my memory, and then the headaches and sleepless nights. Sometimes I can be there throughout the day and night. I can't sleep for several days or weeks.
Soon, Mariama was not only battling memory loss, she was diagnosed with a bipolar disorder, making her hugely dependent on medications. Mariama's experience in going through that phase of her life exposed another troubling feature of Ghana's mental health delivery system: sexual abuse.
And I went on a visit to a friend at China. There I met a mental health service provider, and we spoke, and he agreed that I could be coming there for every month for healthcare until he was transferred to Bongo Hospital. I followed him there to the Bongo hospital. There it all started. Then he started sexually harassing me. He will come and he demands sex, to have sex with me. Sometimes, many times when I go to Bongo, as at then he was there at the Bongo District Hospital. When I get there, then you tell me it's at his quarters. I should come there. It got to a point that it looked like it's like if I don't give in to his demands, I can't get I can get so depressed as a then. I can get so depressed that to the extent of me even getting up to brush my teeth is even a problem, let alone walking out of the room.
People suffering from mental health disorders and other related conditions are predisposed to depression. This is mainly because of their tendencies to withdraw completely from everyone else and keep to themselves. Without deliberate attempts to reach out to them in their world and offer help and support, they risk moving from bad to worse. And that is why the World Health Organization is heavy on quality rights in mental health care delivery. Here's the head of the World Health Organization's Quality Rights Initiative in Ghana.
So we realized that human rights violations and poor quality of care and support for people with mental health conditions, which includes psychosocial and intellectual disabilities, has been well documented in reports such as the Human Rights Watch and several others. And these violations are actually occurring in mental health services, in faith-based settings such as the prayer camps and such, and generally in communities. And so based on this premise, and in response to these growing concerns, the WHO developed the Quality Rights Initiative.
Those were excerpts of our latest Hotline documentary, Mind Matters. The full documentary is later this evening at 8:30 p.m. on the JoyNews channel. That is DSTV 421, GoTV 144, also on our Facebook and our YouTube page. We're JoyNews on TV. You're still watching JoyNews Desk. I'm going to take a quick breather for business.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. President of the Academic City University College, Dr. Fred Mark Bagonluri, is entreating prospective job seekers to develop more information technology skills. This, he believes, will bridge the unemployment gap in the country. He called on the youth to develop the right attitude towards work and leverage technology. Mr. Mark Bagonluri spoke to Joy Business at the Tech Job Fair. Here's more. The Tech Job Fair is bringing together industry players, educators, students, government officials, and job seekers to understand the job roles of information and communication technology. It is also to promote development of entrepreneurial skills across the country and enable digital capacity building among the youth. Here is President of the Academic City University College, Dr. Fred Mark Bagonluri.
The certificate is just a validation that you've had some training, but can you actually do the work if you are deployed to it? That is really why employers are now looking at behind the certificate. what are you bringing to the table? What is your value proposition? What do you have that is going to take that organization to the next level? So oftentimes, we hear things like there are no jobs. And then you see a lot of jobs advertised. So there is obviously some sort of mismatch. So I think applicants have to start looking for what exactly are these companies looking for. And for those of us that have applied for jobs in the past, sometimes you have to look at the job market. What kinds of jobs are being advertised and how can you customize even your CV, to look like what is they're looking out there, and then you prepare for it accordingly. So you can't use one CV for everything.
The Tech Job Fair is expected to connect employers to the right prospective job seekers with the requisite skill sets that will help grow their businesses. Now, Project Director for the Implementers and Yamuranza Labs program, Kafri Prebi, is entreating young people to take advantage of technology to expand the economy. According to him, this will aid in providing more skills for the youth and fight unemployment in the country. He was speaking at a robotics competition held at the Accra Digital Center. The maiden edition of the annual Impact Roundtable discussion and robotics competition showcased the good work done by the Helping Africa Foundation with the Yamuranza Model Labs program to impact the lives of students. It is to help students sharpen their critical thinking skills and provide practical knowledge of information technology and robotics. Here's Project Director for the Implementers and Yamuranza Labs program, Kafui Prebi.
For the past 5 years, we've been working in 10 regions and we've installed over 10 of these technology centers across the country. So we brought this platform together for the young ones to be able to network amongst themselves, have a competition, and to see the impact of the work that is happening. The technology started, with just computers, and now we've added robotics, Maker 6 equipment, programming, and all those tools. This is to make sure that the kids are prepared for the first 21st century skills. Jobs of the 21st century are going to be based on STEM. And so this is a platform that brings together the youth of Ghana. And currently we're working also in Gambia to make sure that they are prepared for the 21st century, jobs or skills that are required to survive.
A founding member of the Ghana Robotics Academy Foundation, Dr. Yao Okwekuyenchi, said that 9,000 students have been trained in acquiring skills in the information technology and robotics field, and they therefore look forward to expand it.
Over the past 11 years, we have managed to train about maybe 9,000 students across the country in all of the regions, particularly the previous 10 regions, and we have been able to get students to represent Ghana in international competitions with the World Robot Olympiad as well as the RoboFest World Championship. As many people know, we have won the World Championship twice, in 2019 and in 2020, as well as done so well in many other competitions. For us, that is even just the icing on the cake. The main thing is seeing our kids perform a lot better in the regular subjects in maths, science, and all of the other related subjects.
This year's program is under the theme complementing government's effort to promote STEM education in Ghana, the role of the Yamuranza Model Labs program. And that's business. Thanks for watching. Sports is coming up next.
And it's time for sports. My favorite person, Muftau, joins me.
Yes, you would have done the intro again if you had not said it. If you had not said it.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I like your tie.
Thank you. You look cute as well.
Oh, okay.
See, the combination of that, no wonder people out there are under pressure.
They should be under pressure. I haven't even started. Anyways, Muftau, we're going to Ukraine. What's happening there?
Yes, the Russia invasion of Ukraine has brought a lot of issues. Sport is not left out. Every single sporting activity in Ukraine has been suspended indefinitely. And what we currently know is that yesterday there was a meeting of the FIFA Executive Council. The 6-member federations assembled and voted that Russia should not play their matches with their anthem, national anthem.
I see.
The Russian flag is not allowed. However, they will play under the Russian Football Union.
Okay.
The bigger question everyone is asking is, Russian Football Union is part of Russia. So why are you saying that they cannot have their national anthem, the they cannot play under the Russian flag, but they can play under the Russian Football Union. What it means is that just like the Ghana Football Association logo, they can play with that logo, but they cannot play with anything Russia attached.
So, for example, if it was Ghana, Ghana can't play with the
We cannot play with the Ghana flag,
but you can play with the
Ghana Football Association logo.
Okay,
so that's the clarity that many people have not had. And the other aspect of it too is that there's still the possibility that FIFA could consider expelling Russia because many countries are demanding that Russia is expelled. They don't want to play matches against Russia. So if it gets to the point where many member associations of FIFA are demanding that Russia should be taken out, FIFA would be forced to. Many are saying that it's really difficult for FIFA to arrive at a decision to expel Russia from the World Cup qualifiers because they think there's a certain relationship between the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino, and the Russian president. Yes. And this relationship started in 2014 till date. So they've been very good parties where it will be really difficult for FIFA president to be able to convince other members that let's vote and expel Russia from it. So it's more of a political situation. Then there's also the other angle of Chelsea owner, Roman Abramovich, deciding to give her the stewardship of the club to the Chelsea Foundation to handle it. It is because claims are that he's associated to the leadership of Russia. The UK had already expelled him from coming into the country with Russian passport or Russian citizenship. So he had to get that of Israel. When he got that of Israel, he was able to come into UK. However, that one too, he cannot come into the UK with it again because they don't want him in the UK any longer.
I see.
So the questions were whether he would be forced to sell Chelsea. So he decided that no, at this point, I don't want to be heavily involved in the day-to-day activities of Chelsea. So he's giving the club out to the Chelsea Foundation to manage it. And the statement did not state whether it is going to be in the interim or they're supposed to handle it until such a time that he will come and take over the club. At this point, it appears to be somewhat of an indefinite management that he has given to the Chelsea Foundation to handle the football club. And there's also the other angles of so many companies in Russia sponsoring sporting activities across the world. Most of these clubs, most of these sporting activities have started to withdraw. For instance, the UEFA Champions League has been moved from St. Petersburg. Now it's going to happen in Paris. The Formula One that was scheduled to also happen last weekend.
I saw that.
So the world has come against Russia, but they insist what they want is what they want to do.
What they want is what they want to do. And that's how we end Joy News Desk. For more news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. I am Amapito CBD.